you've also taken on the role of president of ASID.
Yes.
What were you thinking? what an amazing job that is.
It is an amazing job.
Yeah, it is.
It's almost like running a whole nother company.
Mm-hmm. It is.
It's a lot of work.
How are you fitting that into your life?
I've always wanted to give back. ASID has been very good for me as a designer. I have met so many different people. I have learned so many different things. So I felt it was my time to give back. Mm-hmm. And with the economy being a little bit slower, where people are not doing as many remodeling jobs because things just aren't great out there right now, it was a good time for me to actually take on that role. And for me, it's been a great leadership role in helping other people. Many designers are really good at very creative things, but they're not so good at running their businesses or in the leadership role because they've not had the opportunity to have that role.
Well, and artists are known not to be the best business people. And
right.
Of course, as artists, it's very hard to sell ourselves.
Exactly. I've got a 4-year degree in interior design from the University of Minnesota, plus I've got a master's in business.
The perfect combination.
It was a great combination, and I've so much enjoyed teaching others and kind of providing leadership and developing leaders for the future for ASID. So that was one of the reasons why I felt so intent on taking that role, so I could pass on some of that information and see them then pass it to other individuals.
That's wonderful. And I understand you're also interested in bringing designers and consumer together.
Definitely.
So that the clients are more comfortable and
Yes.
have a better understanding of design and how to work with an interior designer.
I'm surprised how many people don't work with interior designers. My whole client base are people who've never worked with a designer before.
Well, 97% of the population never does.
And
we just have a very small percentage of clientele.
It's a huge, we can help in so many different ways.
Absolutely.
ASID.
We're very feared, though.
Yes, we are. They think we're too expensive. They think we're divas.
Well, and also that we will tell them how to live in their own home.
Right. And that couldn't be at all. That's not true at all.
Well, no.
Basically, designers are very collaborative, and the consumers are really part of the team. I mean, we derive all of the information that we get from our customers.
Yes.
It's a collaboration. It's communication.
It can be. There are times, though, that designers do feel that the client is the canvas.
Right.
And then they don't allow the full process to happen. And I think it's also up to the client to be aware of that.
Yep.
And then to interview the designer and
Definitely.
determine if they feel comfortable with that person and are being heard.
Right.
And
if they're not, then they need to move on to another designer so that they feel comfortable with that relationship. Yeah. Because there's such a trust relationship that goes on with that.
Total trust. You're in every part of the house.
Right. You're in their personal
life.
Spaces. So you have to have that relationship.
You're spending their money.
Exactly.
Yep. You're asking
with their approval, of course.
Yes, of course. And you're also asking a lot of personal questions because you have to get to know your client.
Yes, you definitely do.
So there has to be that trust and comfort.
So we're really trying to get more consumers to use designers. One, because it can save them time. Two, because it will help them, prevent them from making mistakes. I have so many customers that say, I wish I had talked to you 6 weeks ago, or I wish I hadn't bought that sofa, or I wish I hadn't done this. If I had, had a relationship with you and we had been working together, I would have been so much happier. We've gotten more done in, 1 week than I've gotten done in 6 years.
Wow.
I get those comments all the time from customers.
How is ASID making that happen?
We have a program called Design for Hire.
Really?
In fact, it just rolled out. We did an article in the newspaper. We have had tremendous amount of calls and faxes coming in with people requesting to work with a designer. Basically, we charge $75 an hour for 2 hours of time.
That's very good.
And if the relationship works out, then they can continue with that designer at whatever the designer's rate is. As you know, designers can charge anywhere from $65 to $200 and up. So, it just depends on who that designer is. But sometimes a designer at a higher rate can actually save you money.
Absolutely.
Because usually when they're charging a higher rate, they have more experience. They can do it quicker and they can work faster.
Yes.
Exactly.
They just know how to get it done.
Exactly. Where some of the younger designers who are maybe not charging as much as they don't have as much experience, it takes them a little bit longer to figure out. We're problem solvers. That's what we are. We solve problems in design in spaces. We do.
We have the solutions.
We have solutions. It's just trying to figure out what the question is sometimes.
Right.
It's hard to pull that from our consumers. Right. But the Design for Hire program is fantastic. And like I said, we have been overwhelmed with how many customers.
That's wonderful.
They're all people who have not worked with designers before.
So they're feeling more brave about coming forward and asking.
Yes.
What do you think has created that?
A lot of people are spending more time in their homes.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's because they're not working, or they're retired, or they don't have the money to go out and be entertained.
Mm-hmm.
So they're spending more time in their home, and they realize how important that space is to how they feel,
Mm-hmm. So
and
it's
their
a
quality
value.
of life.
Yes.
It's a value. So they're willing now to spend those dollars, get that expertise, and get it the way they want it to be.
Yes.
That reflects them and reflects their lifestyle. And designers can help with that. Most customers have no idea where to start. They want to do all these things, they see things on TV, but they don't know where to start.
Mm-hmm.
Or they get overwhelmed with the choices.
Mm-hmm.
That's why as designers we normally give people 3 choices, because anything more than that, they're overwhelmed. They're just, then they can't make a choice. They're stuck.
Right. You know, you mentioned TV.
Yes.
How do you think that has impacted the design industry?
I think it's been both positive and negative. I think there's a thought out there, because they watch HGTV, and everything gets done in 30 minutes, that designers can solve the world, solve the world in 30 minutes.
Yeah, I thought so
They don't
too.
realize that the team of people that went behind the scenes and how long it actually took to do that 30-minute segment.
A lot of
it.
preparation and knowledge
Exactly.
and years of experience.
Exactly. So I think that has been detrimental. On the other hand, I think it's exposed people to things they've never been exposed to before, and gets them excited and gets them inspired to do
Sure.
things that they would not feel comfortable doing before.
Well, the product knowledge that
Yes.
we have
It's
is
incredible.
Incredible.
Well,
There
and
is
product
so
sources
much.
that aren't necessarily out there for all the consumers either,
Exactly.
because we have access to sources that are not for the general public. So we can actually find them things that they would not be able to find on their own.
Giving them more choices.
Exactly. Which I think is really beneficial to them. And again, it saves them time, saves them money
Yeah.
to work with a designer.
What is the greatest fear that clients have?
That the designer's going to come in and put their stamp on it, and it's going to be all about the designer and not about them. And really, it couldn't be farther from the truth. I mean, it's all about the customer. And if you're a good designer, you can do any style, any budget, and you can do it to make it personally reflect that individual.
You certainly are a wonderful representative for ASID and
Thank
for
you.
this industry. Really, I hope that you actually become national president. I think that you may not want to for all the work. You just went pale. But I really think that that would be awesome. I think that you have a tremendous sense of what interior design is in the 21st century. And it is different.
It
It's
is
very different.
than the way we were working years ago.
Absolutely. We have had to change.
Yep.
And we,
I think it's been for the good.
yes,
It
it's
has
very
been.
much for the good of the client,
Yes.
actually. And for the designer too, because there's a lot of pressure in having to perform something that we can't perform because we can't tell people how to live.
Right.
We need to ask questions.
Lots and lots of
lots of
yeah.
questions. Well, thank you for answering so many of mine today. It was wonderful
Thank you.
having
My pleasure.
And I hope you just continue enjoying your home. It's amazing. And thank you for my treat. I haven't seen mid-century modern for a long time, and this was very, very, very precious time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with me today. This was a wonderful time visiting Brenda. If you'd like to know more about the Bijarro Method, go to www.bijarromethod.com. You'll learn more about all the wonderful things you can do to put your heart in your home and also to take the interior design preference profile. So have fun and see you there.